Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's so nice to see you all. It appears we're still having a few tech issues, so we're going to get sorted out. But it's nice to see everyone chatting on the live chat. I invite you to just say hi and welcome to everyone. I want to actually, as we get the tech things straightened out, I want to just spend a quick moment talking about this week's Parsha, this week's Torah portion as it relates to Shabbat. So it's Parshat Korach. It's the story of Korach. And there's an amazing, some of you will recognize this, there's an amazing Mishnah, amazing teaching from Pirkei Avot, from Wisdom of Our Sages, that talks about the 10 miraculous things that were created at twilight, but right before Shabbat. So this time right now, as you can kind of see out my window, kind of not, this time right before Shabbat begins, but in the evening is known as Bein Hashmashot, as this liminal time, this time where there's possibility and where miracles can happen. And the first thing the Mishnah says that's created is the mouth of the earth that swallowed up Korach. So Korach stages a rebellion, and then he against Moses and Aaron, and then he loses the rebellion and is swallowed up by the earth. So that is one of those things, and we can agree or disagree with whether or not we think Korach should be swallowed by the earth, but it's the first in a series of miraculous things that were created at this time. And I think it teaches us that this time is one that can produce fear. Again, we're entering night, which is known as a time for fear, but can also really be seen as possibility. It can be seen as real opportunity. And I think I've been thinking that a lot about that over the last several months, as we're really in this period of uncertainty and fear, which makes a lot of sense, and pain and suffering, which makes so much sense. And as we continue to not quite know how long this is to last, to continue to get more information and still not know, we're in this liminal space of when are things going to return to how we're used to them. And as we move into Shabbat, I think we can use this moment of space between the week and focusing on our stuff, and our moment of recharge and relaxation in Shabbat to think about what are the possibilities, what are the opportunities that we might want to use this time for. And so I invite you, as we move through tonight's service, to think about that. As we move through the next hour, what are the possibilities over the next hour that you want to think about? What are the things, the opportunities that you want to seek out in your own lives at this time? It looks like Yoni and Leah are back, so let's try it again. Shabbat Shalom, Yoni and Leah.
Shabbat Shalom. Can you hear us now?
We can hear you.
Yeah, okay. Well, hopefully our internet holds out for us to share some Shabbat prayer together.
Great. And so I'm pleased. So I'm Rabbi Talia Stein, the assistant rabbi at Temple Sinai. I'm really pleased to be joined tonight by Leah Carnow and Yoni Battat in services tonight. So we look forward to sharing with you. It looks like we're still frozen. Shabbat Shalom. Give us one moment to sort all the tech stuff out. Let's hope we can get it. Oh. Jeremy Wolf, I appreciate the trivia of figuring out the other 9 miracles created before Shabbat. People should feel free to comment on those in their chat. I'll be with you. Are we back? Shabbat Shalom. Apologies for the tech. Let's see if we can get this going and bring you some beautiful music, some beautiful prayers for this Shabbat evening. Shabbat Shalom. While we sort out the tech, we're going to begin with singing Shalom Aleichem, bringing the angels into Shabbat, and we're going to ask our angels to bring good internet with them in the hopes of sharing beautiful tunes with you. I know Leah and Yoni have some old tunes and new tunes that they're excited to share. So hopefully they'll be able to join us soon, and we'll begin by singing Shalom Aleichem together. And please join me from your homes. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharein, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharein, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ay, ay, ay. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharein, Malachei Elyon melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Boachem l'shalom malachei hashalom malachei elyon melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Boachem l'shalom malachei hashalom malachei elyon melech malchei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, ay, ay, ay. Boachem l'shalom malachei, shalom malachei El Yoni Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Nila Shalom Malachei Shalom Malachei Elyon Melech Malchei Hamlachim Kadosh Baruch Hu Nila Shalom Malachei Shalom Malachei Elyon Melech Malchei Hamlachim Kadosh Baruch Hu Ayah Baruch Hu Nila Shalom Malachei Shalom Malachei Elyon Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Tzeitchem l'shalom Malachei Shalom Malachei Elyon Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Tzeitchem l'shalom Malachei Shalom Malachei Elyon Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Ay 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 Tzeitchem l'shalom Malachei Shalom Malachei Elyon Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Let's see. Yoni and Leah, you're back. Let's see if this works.
Hello, everyone. Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.
Our sound might not be as good, but our connection is there. So
we started. The angels joined us. Yoni and Leah are our Shabbat angels for today, and we are so excited to share beautiful music with you this Shabbat. And again, we actually want to start. We just sang Shalom Aleichem, but we'll actually move into L'chuna Ranana, the one of the first psalms of Kabbalat Shabbat. It says, "Let us sing, let us rejoice together," and we're going to move into a psalm after that about nature rejoicing, and we all want to sing. We all want to rejoice together.
L'chuna Ranana Adonai V'nariya Letzor Yishenu
V'kanafana Letoda Bizmirot Nariyalo Yalla la ilaha Yalla la ilaha Yalla la ilaha Yalla la ישמחו השמיים את הגר הארץ ישמחו השמיים את הגר ישמחו השמיים את הגר ישמחו השמיים את הגר הארץ יראה ישמחו השמיים ישמחו השמיים את הגר
Talia, we need to hear you.
That we're gonna Shabbat Shalom. We're moving to Carnow, the song welcoming Shabbat, and we're gonna bring you. It might be a familiar tune, but it might be a new tune for you tonight. But it's very, very catchy, and I encourage you again to belt it in your homes. Sing as loud as you can, so all your neighbors can hear you. And I just want to again think about this idea of possibility. And during Lecha, we have this custom that's hundreds of years old to open the doors. When we're in the sanctuary, we open the doors of our sanctuary. I invite you to open the doors of your homes to say, welcome Shabbat, you're here. And think about what is the possibility that Shabbat is bringing to you right now? What are the opportunities that Shabbat is bringing to you?
Lecha dodi לקראת קלה, הנה שבת, נקבלה, לך דודי, לקראת קלה, הנה שבת, נקבלה, שמור לזכור ותיגונך, Yanu elamenta, Adonai eta Yisroelcha, Vesher, Tiferet, Tequila. Lecha dodi. Talia, any Shabbat, Nekavela, Olevadori, Ligatala, any Shabbat, Nekavela, Liga Shabbat, Nekavela, ay, 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 ay. We must repent and dance to fly. So I say, enough Shabbat. Hey, Ikakala, Shabbat, Nekabela, Itoreli, Iba Ome, Ubi, Shirtaveli, Teto, Shalom, Ateret Alai, Lai, Kam besimcha ubezona.
I invite you to take a moment, breathe in that feeling of Shabbat, breathe in that beautiful music. Take a moment to feel your feet on the ground, feel either a chair or a couch that is supporting you, and breathe. And I invite you to introduce yourselves in the chat. A lot of people have already said Shabbat Shalom, but it's such a nice way to feel like we are together in the sanctuary by wishing everyone a Shabbat Shalom. I particularly want to invite any guests or new folks to introduce themselves on the chat. Again, it's so wonderful to be able to come together even in this way. And we're going to move into the Mariv service, the evening service now. And we're going to sing Ahavat Olam, a song all about love. And I've said this before, but one of the things that strikes me about the Shema is that it's surrounded by two paragraphs of love, Ahavat Olam, and then the V'ahavta, which I'll also sing. And again, thinking about this core prayer in Judaism, that's surrounded by love. And I think love actually enables us to have the possibility. It enables us to have the opportunities that we seek to create. And we need to be surrounded by love, just like the Shema is, and to surround ourselves by this feeling of love. And I think prayer can at times help us do that.
Ahavat Olam Israel ונשמח בדברי תורתך ומצוותיך לעולם כי הם חיינו לאורך ימינו והם נגי יומם ולילה אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל אדוני ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך ואהבת את אדוני
We'll move into the Micha Mocha now, and we'll again think about the rejoicing that took place as the Israelites crossed the Red Sea and the courage that it took to go there. We'll move into the Amidah, our standing prayer now. I invite you to sit or stand, whatever is comfortable for you. But we're going to begin together as we usually do with the first paragraph of the Amidah, the paragraph evoking God of our ancestors, God of Abraham and Sarah, of Isaac and Rebecca, of Jacob and Rachel and Leah. And again, it's a beautiful passage in terms of thinking about who is that God to each of our ancestors. What did that God allow? What possibilities did that God for each of those individuals allow? So for Sarah, we know she prayed for she was barren and prayed for a baby and had a baby. For Jacob, we know he fled from his brother and was so scared and prayed to God for safety. So in thinking about as we pray together, what are the things that you want to ask for from God or for others in your life? So we'll turn now to the Amidah.
Adonai, Shabbat Yusuf, Ufir Kiteilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'koneh Hakol, Ve'zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevii Gula livnei bneihem, Leman Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Mashiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah.
We're now going to go into a moment of silent prayer or reflection.
Shalom Libroma, Uyase Shalom Aleinu. Shalom Libroma, Uyase Shalom Aleinu. Ose Shalom Libroma, Uyase Shalom Aleinu. Yase Shalom, Yase Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Leah Kol Yisrael. Yase Shalom, Yase Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Leah Kol Yisrael. Shalom Libroma, Uyase Shalom Aleinu. Shalom Libroma, Uyase Shalom Aleinu. Shalom Libroma, Uyase Shalom Aleinu. Yase Shalom, Yase Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Leah Kol Yisrael. Yase Shalom, Yase Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Leah Kol Yisrael. Shalom Libroma, Uyase Shalom, Yase Shalom Aleinu. Shalom Libroma, Uyase Shalom Aleinu. Ose Shalom Libroma, Uyase Shalom Aleinu. Yase Shalom, Yase Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Leah Kol Yisrael. Yase Shalom, Yase Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Leah Kol Yisrael. Yase Shalom, Yase Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Leah Kol Yisrael. Yase Shalom, Yase Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Leah Kol Yisrael.
We turn to the Mishaberach now. We ask God's blessing and God for healing. Healing of the minds, healing of the spirit, healing of the soul, healing of our bodies. And our world is in need of healing right now. We're in the midst of a pandemic that has changed our lives drastically, that have so many people have lost their lives or have fallen ill too. Communities of color and poor communities have been disproportionately affected. And people, working first responders are still continuing to risk their lives to care for our loved ones. And so we really are taking a moment to ask God for healing right now. And I want to, in Temple Sinai's community in particular today, We're recognizing and asking God's blessing for Robin Barinholtz, Doran Barinholtz, Amy Perlman, A.B. Haupt, June Ziner, Jim Ziner, Ronnie Meckler, Allison Santucci, Meredith Fine, Deborah Kaplan, Nicole Morris, Selma Gruber, Luann Luce, Ben Slavitt, Alan Brackup, Tyrone Cushing, Evelyn Opat, Michael Ben Bluma Vishmuel, Don David Ben Ezer Vachaya, Davida Emanuela Bat Yecheskel Ephraim, Velvel Ben Baruch Urachel, Shoshana Bat Moshe Ubella, Ephraim Ben Malka Rachel. And I invite you to add names of those you're thinking about tonight and asking God for healing in the chat box. And we're going to sing together. We're going to sing Debbie Friedman's Misha Berach together tonight.
Bless the ones he formed. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. Let us say, We wish them all a refuah shlema. In the spirit of healing, I want to share some words of Torah tonight. On our parsha, on the parsha of Korach. I told you a little bit about it before, but our Torah portion opens with Korach, Moses' cousin, staging an uprising against Moses. Rav lachem ki kol ha'edah kulam kedoshim. He says to Moses, "You have gone too far, for all the community are holy, all of them, and Adonai is in their midst. Why then do you raise yourselves above God's congregation?" At first glance, this seems like a completely legitimate argument. In fact, one that I think I would get behind myself. We learn from Leviticus, Kiddoshim tihiyu. You, the plural you, meaning the entire community, will be holy, not just the leaders. This sounds familiar. Right now in our country, people continue to take to the streets and advance legislation at every level that protects people of color. We consider the entire community holy. We, too, challenge hierarchy. However, in this story, Korach is the villain and is swallowed up by the earth. Perhaps the Torah is unfair to Korach, but I also want to offer a possibility where Korach might have erred, as articulated in an incredible midrash. So the midrash sets the scene of Korach and Moses arguing about different aspects of Jewish law. In particular, the custom of wearing tzitzit made of techelet, a special blue dyed fringe on a talit that had just been mentioned at the end of last week's Torah portion. Korach says to Moses, in the case of a talit or prayer shawl that is entirely blue, full of this techelet, wouldn't one be exempt from the requirement of tzitzit? Moses responded, no, it's still required to have tzitzit. Korach said to him, how is it possible that a talit that is all blue cannot count as fulfilling this mitzvah, but a mere 4 threads can count? Korach raises a similar challenge about fixing a mezuzah to your doorpost, even in the case of a house that is filled with Torah scrolls. And Moses responds similarly that a mezuzah is required. In these arguments, it is clear that Korach is missing the point. Korach rejects the notion that something small, either tzitzit or a mezuzah, could be more important than something big. He fails to recognize that there are times when the details can make all the difference. This is often true for ritual and often true in the social justice world as well. Rather than ask or even confront Moses about the ritual itself or the flaws in his leadership, he immediately gathers some people and tries to overthrow Moses. It appears his goal is not to change the style of leadership to highlight the holiness of the entire community, but rather to take power from Moses and Aaron. He feels that he and others would be better leaders than Moses and Aaron. His interest is not in changing the system to be a more just system that lifts up the entire community. He and his followers might speak on behalf of all the community, but really they are concerned with their own positions. Today, as we are thinking about racial justice and Black Lives Matter and the pandemic, it is so important to recognize how easily we can speak about the general and gloss over the specific. We hear numbers when referring to those who have died from coronavirus, but it's so important to recognize that each and every one of those lives are precious souls who have loved ones who are devastated by their loss. These last few weeks, after we have witnessed the senseless murders of so many innocent Black people, we say Black Lives Matter, specifically because our institutions and policies do not value the lives of Black folks. And when we say Black Lives Matter, we remember the names of those that who have lost their lives. Breonna Taylor, Tony McDade, Sandra Bland, Tamir Rice, George Floyd, the list goes on. Black Lives Matter names the challenge we face today with urgency and specificity. As I read Parshat Korach, I think about the protests of recent weeks and the pandemic and how this moment is such a crucial one. We are in an election year, and we are at a moment where at every level, town, city, state, national, change is possible. But as we seek change in our society, whose voices are we lifting up and centering? How are we ensuring Kulam Kiddoshim, that in fact, we, each and every one of us, are holy, are worthy of living a healthy life? And what are the specific details that we need to do to be mindful, to make sure that we actually do realize the just world we are seeking to create? Shabbat Shalom. We'll conclude with our concluding prayers. We're going to do a different version of the Aleinu prayer, a prayer again that speaks to the world we envision, really highlights the world that we are envisioning. And we're going to do just an excerpt from it.
So this is a beautiful melody from a composer named Yosef Goldman, and it gives us a different angle to this prayer that we say all the time, and it's a different kind of power. Instead of just being celebratory, it's a very pointed and directed and powerful message that it's upon us to repair the world.
We'll turn to Mourner's Kaddish. We remember all those whose yortzites we're observing this week, and all those who've passed away recently in our community and in the world. Tonight, we're remembering in particular Beatrice Bass, Dorothy Brown, Kenneth Cerati, Eva B. Kurland, Morris Edward Epstein, Sandra Gray, George Hyams, Edward Karmazine, Samuel Cates, Helen Cass, Doris Matlaw, Erna Neumar, James Schenk, Howard Schott, Bessie Stimmerman, Stephanie Ann Swanson, Carl Ted Swanson, Celia Joan Wenger, and Susan Wynn. And in the past 30 days, we recall Rabbi Benjamin Rudovsky, former Temple Sinai rabbi, and Barbara Ann Waldorf Abraham, sister of Rabbi Frank Waldorf. And we wish both your families condolences. Feel free to name others in the chat whom you're remembering this evening. And we recite mourners Kaddish, Zichronam Livracham. May their memories be a blessing. Yitkadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach yirtei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'vyomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam umei olmaya. Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei dekudasha brichu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru amen. May all those who are bereaved be comforted. I'll turn it over now to Temple Sinai President Charlie Homer for some announcements.
Great. Thank you so much. Shabbat Shalom all. We are just so fortunate at Temple Sinai to be enlightened and motivated by the teachings of Rabbi Stein and to be moved and inspired by the beautiful music from Yoni and Leah. So thank you both very much. What a wonderful way to start Shabbat. There are other ways to continue Shabbat. One is later, right after this, is the Oneg, hosted by Jeremy Wolf. So thank you very much. Great opportunity for people to continue the conversations. Tomorrow morning, we have Torah study led by Rabbi Vogel. So that'll be at 9 o'clock in the morning at the usual Zoom location. Another form of prayer by prayer is by walking and protesting. And there is a march tomorrow. It's called March Like a Mother. Which will be at Copley Square. It starts at noon. It's family and child friendly and also be available on YouTube if you're interested. But again, following up on the Dvar from Rabbi Stein, those of you who choose to celebrate Shabbat by taking such prayer and action, please do so. Sunday morning, we have, as we have in the past, Daf Shavui, which is weekly Talmud study at 9:45. Also on Sunday, a program sponsored by the Israel Committee, Water as an Instrument for Peace, Middle Eastern Cooperation in the Face of COVID-19. Registration is required. You can find information about it again on our website or in the Connect with Sinai newsletter. Wednesday, we also have a new educational program about Jubilees, a 2,000-year-old Jewish bestseller none of us have ever heard of, and certainly not have read, and that'll be led, among others, from, I think that's Robin Orwant and Jeremy Wolf. And then just knowing this is the last regular Friday night service of the year, but we will continue to have Friday night services through the summer, continue to be on Zoom. Half of them will be led by lay members of the community, and half will be led by our clergy. So with that, Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Charlie. We'll conclude with the Kiddush. And I also just want to, one more plug, Jeremy Wolf is hosting a Zoom Oneg after this, and I encourage everyone to attend. Jeremy, I believe you'll post the link in the chat. And again, I want to just thank Leah and Yoni so much for coming tonight and sharing your beautiful melodies and voices and instruments with us and really lifting us into Shabbat. And thank you all also for hanging tight with the technological issues. So we'll conclude with Kiddush and Hamotzi.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzav banu. Shabbat kodsho b'ahava u'ratzon v'nfilanu. Zikaron le'maaseh v'reishit. Kibu yom tefila le'mikra'e kodesh.
זכר ליציאת מצרים. קיבלנו בחרת, אותנו קידשת, מכל העמים, לשבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון, הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת. L'chaim, and please join me in saying the Hamotzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom.
Yaseh shalom. Yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Shalom במרומה, Yaseh shalom aleinu. Shalom במרומה, Yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom במרומה, Yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Go join the Oneg.